right. Entered it in the chat window. Can you see the chat window over to the right?
Oh, yeah. I see that.
There you go. That's the link right there. If you want to share that on Facebook.
Boom. Give me a second. Let me do that then.
And we are live. Just
say that then. Say that then. Say that then. Hey.
Hey. Hey. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody in Sweden, we're about to go live in just a second. We are live, but give us a second. We are neglecting you for right now.
We're going to go liver. We're going to go liver.
Even liver.
Even
liver than a fiver. Are you sharing that on Facebook, D?
Yeah, I'm getting the I'm gonna see now. I should be able to pull it up in YouTube and just share straight from that as with any normal video, or do I need to actually just share the link?
You should be able to share it just via YouTube if you pull up in YouTube.
It's not pulling up the link presently. It's pulling it up, it's just loading.
Okay. Let's see. Signing up over here. My other Gmail account. All right. All right, all right, all right. Live now. Okay. Share this on Facebook. Okay. All right. So you recording over there?
Yes, I am recording.
All right.
Should I start a new one? Because I got 3 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm doing. I restarted mine as well.
Okay.
Test,
I'm
test,
recording now.
Cool. Got that going over there. All right. Are y'all ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm still trying to. It just won't share it for me for whatever reason.
What do you mean? Are you
whenever I click it, when I click it, it takes me to YouTube, and then it just has like a frozen still of all of.
Yeah, it's not gonna play.
Chat.
It's not gonna play live. They'll have to click on it to actually see it live.
Oh well, yeah, like what's odd? It's just not letting me share it from there. That's the part that's weird.
I got you. It's
like
on
it
my
just
page.
Takes me to like participants and.
Yeah, it's yeah.
I'll just share it from your page then.
Yeah, exactly. Let me know when you're ready.
All right, man. I'm good. I mean, you already know. Boom. Yes, there we go. Nice. Talking about, yes.
Hey, Nate, let's start that recording all over again. Derek, let us know when you're ready.
All right, 1 second. I'm recording again.
Recording now myself.
And record. I am recording. Yes, sir.
All right. 3, 2, Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, with all due respect, this is your boy BK. Once again, it's on once again, Patron once again, only a couple days after the first post we made about Justice League, and I am back with the league of my own, with my co-captains, Nate.
It's me. I'm exhausted.
He hitting us with that death stroke. And Derek.
That's me corrupting the system.
Absolutely, man. No gibberish this week?
No. Why would I ever do something like that? I don't.
I mean, why would I ever corrupt?
Maintain.
Why would I ever corrupt the system? I mean, I'm corrupting the system by being a part of the system this week.
Exactly.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are that premier Blitzcast, and here's what we're about to do. We are now live on Google Hangouts, and we are also recording for our podcast, so you can get it either on YouTube to watch our beautiful faces, or you can just listen to us like you do and listen to the sultry sounds, baby, of the co-captains of the Play Away podcast. And we do sexy voices like
smooth jazz.
The Player Way. Exactly. I can't do it as well as Derek. Derek, you do it.
The Player Way.
There you go. Look, he got right up on that mic this time. Well, guys, with no further ado, we're about to go straight in. I got my trusty, dusty timer going, and the 60 minutes starts now. Justice League is in theaters. I watched it not once, but twice, and I almost watched it thrice. Derek, what about you?
Just one time for the family man, but a good time it was.
One time. And Nate, yawning on the microphone.
I literally watched it like 3 hours ago.
Dude, fresh reaction. So, Nate, let's start with you. Nate, your fresh, hot sports opinion, as Derek would say.
I don't think you really want to start with me. I'm not going to lie. It was okay.
It was okay?
I definitely wouldn't go watch it twice.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
No.
Derek, no. Derek, you take it. Go get this boy.
Well, I was entertained.
Yes,
I was very entertained
to the max for me.
I feel I watched some. I'm gonna give a shout out to the Nice Guy cast one time because the other night he had a live.
Are you talking about
discussion?
Nanjia?
That's all. He was talking about it. And he had a few points that I jotted down. How he was saying, he's like, well, he felt like he didn't get enough Superman, or he felt like he didn't get enough just development with regards to or like Superman and I was reading through the comments and I was just going through it and I was just thinking, this movie is the Justice League and DC has already introduced you half of them and given you a teaser of the other three, to which you could have looked up online and had a rudimentary knowledge about Cyborg, Flash, and Aquaman. And even if you didn't, this movie was the movie to educate you on those three, which is why it circled around the background of those three. And even with the Flash, we don't need much of a background because we already know it's the Flash. We know it's Barry Allen. We know he's actually the fastest man alive, not like CW. I like the fact that they even had him dealing with the Speed Force before he got a job. So we're not going to have to deal with this ridiculous treadmill CW 3 seasons of, is he fast enough? Oh, he ran 801 miles an hour. No, he can run faster than time. Give him the Flash speed as he needs to. And DC just went ahead and did it. Like, we don't need to know the background of Superman, Batman, nor Wonder Woman. And even people don't know the background of Wonder Woman. They just know it's Wonder Woman. Like, these are iconic figures. We don't need to develop them. We already know. If anybody, people are going to be curious about Cyborg. Okay, cool. And they probably gave him the most background.
They really did. They spent a lot of time with him.
Yes. And it's like, what do we need? This was like watching an animated DC movie to me.
That's what I've been saying. That's what I've been saying. I said forever.
Totally. You feel me, Nate? You feel me, Nate?
We've been asking.
I feel like BK is in the moment.
So much for that
high-five.
hardwired. Yeah, you froze for a good 5 seconds.
Okay. Anyway, what I was saying, just remember it's going to continue recording on this side. All I was saying is that we've been asking for an animated film. DC, calm down, borrow from your animated titles, follow the exact path of an animated movie, and they finally did it.
I liked it because it stepped in with, because kind of like what we talked about with what we appreciated about Spider-Man. Like, it just jumped in, like, enough. We don't need to go too far. Like, we know that Superman's dead, and we all knew that he was coming back thanks to Zack Snyder. Like, if Zack Snyder had to cut out that whole coffin scene from Batman versus Superman, or Batman Dawn of Justice, as BK should be calling it, and everybody else should as well. If we didn't know that, then no one would have been speculating about Superman's return as much. So I like the fact that they're like, let's go ahead and rip this Band-Aid off and get him involved with this idea, and that way y'all aren't waiting until the end of the movie thinking Superman's going to be showing up. Like, why do we need to know more about Superman? We know enough. Like, there's nothing that we don't. People are upset about Frost breath. Oh, well, he didn't have that in Man of Steel. It's Superman. He has it already. So what if you didn't see it? We didn't see Batman's new ship in Batman vs. Superman, and no one's upset about that because it's Batman. He builds things in the, like, calm down. Sit down somewhere.
Derek, let's calm down for a second. We're too excited. We're hyped.
Let me calm down.
We're hyped. Well,
I am hyped.
Nate, tell us what you're. Nate, I feel like you're going to be the voice of people who are in the majority, because most people, they thought it was okay, but there was nothing to write home about. So tell us what prevented you from writing home about this one.
I mean, look, in all honesty, I really wanted to enjoy this. I usually like to let movies digest, for a couple days and ruminate about what I really like. But my initial thoughts,
ruminate.
The villain was downright terrible.
Really?
Let's call that out from the start. Steppenwolf was just the Diet Ares.
What? He was
come on,
Ares.
Hold on. If all right,
you might as well have switched him out with Ares, and I couldn't even tell the fucking difference between the two.
Okay,
I'll
give it to you.
I'll partially agree.
Secondly, this
very
this
similar.
movie
I'll
looks
kind of
like
with that.
Everything was reshot, but the action scenes, like that. All the dialogue scenes. That's obviously all Whedon.
Mm.
But except for they kept Snyder's action scenes. I mean, I just didn't. I don't know. Some of the jokes fell flat. It was sort of an empty theater because it was a matinee. Obviously people are at work. So some of the jokes seemed like it fell flat. Like a lot of Flash's jokes, no one laughed.
What?
Yeah. And let me tell you, there was this one moment where I'm not gonna lie, I rolled my eyes when Superman comes in at the end. And he says, "I love truth, and I'm actually a fan of justice." And I don't know. It was such a stupid line. I almost felt like someone should have popped in with the Suicide Squad dialogue. And what are we, some kind of Justice League? So this is Aquaman. He's got my back. His trident steals souls. Don't mess with him.
All right. So here's my theory, Derek. Here's my theory. Because Nate just he go ahead.
Before you hit the theory, I just want a small detour with the short rabbit hole of Steppenwolf, and just kind of piggyback off how I appreciate that this was like an animated movie because it was the Justice League. We're worried about them. Villains are going to come and go, but the Justice League is going to be handling them. So I didn't need to know that much about Steppenwolf. Like we knew that it was Steppenwolf the whole time. We knew that it was Darkseid's uncle, blah, 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 parademons, so on and so forth. But it doesn't matter who it is. Like, we were more focused on the Justice League, how they dealt with it. Like, I like the fact that they didn't even show all the maniacal plans behind Steppenwolf. He just showed up, got what he needed, and then we just had to deal with them like it would do in an animated series. Like, an animated movie with just Flash.
And here's my thing. And here's my thing with Steppenwolf, to back you up, Derek. It's very obvious that, like, Steppenwolf, it's very obvious that someone sent Steppenwolf there, and that was confirmed at the end when his axe, which was giving him his power and his control and his ability to boom tube everywhere, when that got broken by Superman along with Wonder Woman, someone boom tubed him back to wherever he came from. So it's real obvious somebody was in control of those boom tubes. And he even says mother, like he's calling out to his mother, which if you're a fan of the comic books, we know who mother is. Essence, well, some people thought it was Granny Goodness, but it's not Granny Goodness. His mother, his mother's essence is actually in the boxes. So when he calls them his mother's box, like that, this his mother's boxes.
They are
looking for his mother's boxes. His mother's box. Anyway, but no, seriously, like he in the comics, that's what he alludes to them as, is it's his mother's essence. So in his brain, he's talking to his mother. But it's obvious somebody else was sending him there. A lot of people said that they felt like they needed to see the other side of the boom tube when he came back, to kind of show that he wasn't behind going there and that he was kind of serving someone greater, and that would have rehabilitated that character for them. Nate, do you feel that way?
He was just, I don't know, the whole plot, and then I don't know, I just didn't really like him. I had the same sort of.
All right, so now it comes to my theory. Okay, now it comes to my theory. Okay,
he's just there's no reason to care about his fucking plight. Like I don't. Why are you doing this?
Did you want them to develop him more?
Years? I don't give him something to do. Like I kept thinking, like they had that whole after they decide to bring Superman back to life with a fucking mother box. It would have been cooler for me if Steppenwolf maybe lost that first fight they had under Gotham Harbor, and so he goes, all right, fuck this, I'll bring Superman back. And that's why Superman's evil. Like instead of this whole stupid quick fight, he's choking Batman. Batman should have, when Superman was choking him, Batman should have said Martha. End of movie. He calls out Lois Lane, they fly to fucking Kansas. And then he's standing in the cornfields, and then he's like, okay, I'm good again. I'm good again.
I agree with you. Let me go with it for a second.
Martha's here.
Nate, you won. You won, Nate. Okay. All right. Let's go with that for a second. So what you're saying is you thought it should have been better if, like, keep the idea that there's this big gun that Batman has been working on just as a backup plan in case he does bring Superman back, and they allude to it that maybe that's what he's trying to do, okay, and take control over him. And then what happens is they bring her in there, and then he changes, goes back to Kansas. Do you think all of that, keeping everything else the same except for the fact that Steppenwolf is what brought Superman back, do you think the Lois being the big gun still works?
Yeah, that could have still worked. But the fact that him being evil lasted 2 minutes, and all it took was seeing Lois and a quick flight back to Kansas and good old Martha. And he's back to normal. It seemed very unnecessary. You might as well have just brought him back to life and not even had that little evil bit in it.
Okay. I hear what you... But do you not think... Yes. Go ahead, Derek. Go ahead.
That little evil bit was incredible, just to clearly show his level of ability and being able to, like, we need him good because we were nothing before him, and also showing the speed of him finally, because they've never really accentuated his speed. And then
I'm telling you
the fact that was incredible. Like, nope, flat. But also the fact that he didn't land a punch though either. He didn't land that punch. Flash was on it. He only tripped over his feet again.
So here comes. All right. So
like he's
the third time I've tried to attempt to put my theory out, and I've had to put it right back in my pants every single time. So I'm whipping it out. Guys.
It's a
shout out to
theory.
Kevin Spacey. All right.
Theory.
Shout out to Kevin Spacey. All right. So here's what's going on. We're whipping it out. No regards. No regards. And here's what's going down. Okay. I have a theory that something we've never really seen before is that when your fans finally decide to turn their back on you, kind of like with Justin Bieber when he got to that age where he should have grown up an extra 2 feet and he didn't, and his muscles should have gotten more developed and it never did, and his beard continued to struggle even though it should not have. Like, he never quite hit puberty, and then girls started getting disinterested in him. DCEU isn't going through this, where they're now making great films. They've had Wonder Woman, which made a great impact in the box office, but seems to not, because it persists to not be part of the conversation. Okay. In my opinion, it was better than Thor Ragnarok, and yet somehow Thor Ragnarok continues to be in everyone's conversation, mainly because it's new.
Like Wonder Woman is number 2 top 2017 movies.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Yeah. So and then I think where we're at right now is I think all fans need to kind of chill out a little bit. I think the movie we finally wanted is here, but it's too late. Like it's too late. Like they're like, hey, we're moving on. Because
people wanted this instead of Batman versus Superman.
Yes, they did.
This type of movie. They wanted this type of movie, but with Batman, quote unquote.
And what's crazy is this movie actually rehabilitates Batman versus Superman big time. Because in this film, you see a remorsefulness in Bruce Wayne when he realizes he fucked up. Like he messed up big time.
Absolutely.
Like he's like, I should have did my research. I was looking at just his powers and all of that. I never actually looked at the man side of him because I never considered him a man. And mainly because he didn't know anything about Clark Kent, really. Clark Kent, he was using Clark Kent as a disguise. But during that scene at the end of Batman vs. Superman, when he actually sees that he has a funeral, 2 different funerals. He has a funeral in public and one in private. And it's something that Bruce Wayne probably will never have. He'll never have no one will ever know that he was ever Batman, so no one can ever truly appreciate who Batman is. He's the White Knight that we were promised in The Dark Knight that turned into Harvey Dent Two-Face is actually Superman. And it's like all those things weren't lost on me. People are like, man, he really changed, he really changed his tune. There's obviously been a lot of time in between that first movie and this next one.
I totally agree. And to piggyback off of this and really kind of compound with it, it's like Bruce Wayne went through an emotional swing from Man of Steel to actually fighting the person that caused the damage to Metropolis and his own personal Wayne billing, to the fact that he actually lost this guy and the state that the world was in. Now, maybe they didn't show how much the state of the world is in, but we know what the state of the world is in. Him having the realization of he was more human than he's loved, he got a job, he those are powerful realizations, and for people to skip over those are huge human epiphanies that this man had about, and to even go the lone wolf route of, I'll take off these parademons if you guys can just figure out what to do with Steppenwolf, and not even thinking past that tells you the emotional state that Bruce Wayne was in. Batman would have had a plan for every single parademon and Steppenwolf before he even showed up. This should tell you how much it's been weighing on Bruce's. I would like to think that this tells us how much this has been weighing on Bruce.
And beyond that, this is an older Bruce Wayne who thought he saw it
20 years. He's been Batman for 20 years.
He saw it all. And this parademons thing, he seems to be a step behind. He's trying to keep up, and he gets encouragement from Diana, where it's like, wow, pretty impressive. You've only been at this for like a couple of days, and you almost know as much as I do in the centuries I've been alive. And he's like, I mean, in his brain, he still thinks it's not all that impressive because it's not as quick as it needs to be. And in the fights, I love that in the fights, he's doing great things, but he's not able to do as much as his cohorts. And I love the scene where he lifts up his shirt and his ribs are bruised, and he realized he got ragdolled by Superman. And he's now, like, his role is to be Alfred to the Justice League, as Alfred is to him.
Like,
him
mentioning my superpowers being rich. I know that was a funny joke, but it is. I'll fund the Justice League because I can't hang with Wonder Woman. I'm not going to hang with Flash. I'm not going to hang with Aquaman. I'm sure as heck not hanging with Superman. Like, I am just a human. These people can all survive ridiculous things. I can't. I step in front of a bus, I die. Everybody else lives. You know what I'm saying? Just I even fall in the house could kill him as opposed to anybody else. So him. Like it just shows the actual mortality. The mortality of the toll that the Batman takes on him.
So obviously, Derek and I are all up on the pineapple tastiness of this film.
And I tried to take the objective look. I'm like, did I just lower my standards so far to where I'm this enamored with it? Like, I'm trying to take it, but this was just, it was a good movie. Like, it picked up with the action quick. We jumped right into the story. We don't need to know much else about the players. We already know who we're dealing with. Let's just fight, save the world, figure out how you guys are going to be the Justice League, and go on to the next movie.
So, all right. So, Nate.
Well, let's be
form
real.
a league of our own.
I think we can all be pretty much certain there's not going to be a Justice League 2. If anything, it's going to be called Flashpoint, and this fucking universe is going to get rebooted like some shit.
Well, all right. So going with Nate, let's talk.
Because honestly, this movie, I know you guys like it. I'm not here to try to.
Hey, listen,
it's not a very good movie. It's a sloppy movie. It looks like a movie that's patched together.
It felt rushed. I'll agree with that.
They tried to do the best with what they had, probably.
Yeah,
and what they had was a lot of Snyder vision and film and shooting, and then they had such a short.
They had Snyder action scenes and Whedon dialogue scenes.
All right, let's be organized about this.
For some reason, like Ben Affleck would suddenly.
That was a good one.
Gain 20 pounds in between different scenes that took place right next to each other. You know, you could tell when reshot.
Yeah, Rachel, my wife Rachel called that. She's like, "Did he have a gut in that scene? I could have swore, he had a gut in that scene." And then when she watched it the second time, she was like, "He's skinny at the beginning of the movie." So yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. So let's go. Let's talk about the majority of people. Ultimately, what history is going to say are these things. And shout out to What Culture on YouTube. What Culture, they have all kinds of awesome nerd culture videos on their channel. And they had a really good rundown of why critics hated Justice League. So here are the reasons. Number one, Steppenwolf. All across the board, regardless of what Derek and I say, everyone says that Steppenwolf is a weak character. Number two, the CGI. Now, for the most part, in my opinion, I thought the CGI was great until the very end of the movie, where there's two scenes actually. The most glaring is Flash runs like a little girl.
Oh, like
at the very end.
Yeah. He's like flapping his arms.
Yeah.
Like Enchantress.
It was like he was throwing lightning in front of his feet. It was weird. I thought that was weird. Just run, dude. And anytime he comes out of the Speed Force, he does this weird robotic he kind of does the robot a little bit. Like that first scene when they get on the rooftop, and they're right in front of Commissioner Gordon, he does like the robot, like off of the Chappelle Show. He's like, it's like the weirdest.
Speaking of Commissioner Gordon, I'm not gonna. He had no business being in this movie. It seemed like there was probably a lot that was cut out.
No, it was just fan service. Like, I agree with that. It was 100% fan service. Like, I was like, this does not. We could have used that time to do something else. We really could have.
Absolutely.
I agree with that. And then the second scene that was really bad was in front of the area that I thought was going to be the home of the Halls of Justice at some point, but ended up just being the Superman head statue that they never picked the head up ever, which I thought was weird. It was just still sitting on the ground all that time. Like, I ain't gonna put the shit up.
I was kind of wondering, I'm like, did they just leave this just for like
the only man that can do this is Superman? Yeah. He is gone.
Exactly. I was like, why is the shit still on the ground? You can't even put graffiti on the wall in the hood for it not to be painted over within a week. You know, let alone apparently in the good side of town, you just leave big statues. It is art. Do not move this statue.
Just leave it.
Do not.
They need to know.
Superman was a saint. Anyway, but anyway, in that scene, when Cyborg loses control, his head does this weird thing, and it's really terrible CGI. I don't know if y'all are talking about. I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about, but it's when his arm turns into the gun, and he's like, "I can't control it." I'm like, "Why does your neck look like that? Control your neck, brother." You know, it's like, what is going on?
Yeah.
So there were a couple of weak CGI moments.
You could tell the chin strap he had was real.
Yeah.
Was, you know, all
well, yeah, you could tell. Like, I did kind of notice, like, whenever you could see like the actual piece of whatever on his face, and then the times that it was like it was obvious, I guess, as it would be obvious, but like the zoom in shots versus the.
Yeah,
you know, like,
I thought it would,
or even just the CGI with Alfred on the dock when the ship took off. Like,
yeah,
Why? Obviously he's not there. Like,
Yeah,
why even? What was the point?
Yeah, I don't know. Why not just give him a practical suit to put on? I didn't understand that. We could have given him a practical suit, or give him the finished suit at the end that you see with the cyborg C in there. Like, I think that they could have done that earlier in the movie where he's evolving throughout the film and he's more suited up for the final battle. I think we could have gone with that. However, I thought his voice was incredible. I thought that sounded
really
like
enjoyed how it
Cyborg
sounded.
from the video games.
He actually, I liked him more than, other than Wonder Woman. I thought I was going to come out of this really like an Aquaman and Flash, but I liked Cyborg way more than both of them.
Cyborg was really good. I thought he was very, very, and I'm actually wanting to see he's got acting chops, dude. I was like, yes, that is Cyborg, the tortured soul. He doesn't know if he's human or what he is. That scene at the very beginning when he's in his hoodie and he's talking with his dad, I could see a whole movie of that. I was like, okay, these are good actors. I could watch this as a film. And I like that he's in Gotham. I love that they left that alone. So, all right. So those are two. First is Steppenwolf. Second is CGI. Third, for some reason, everybody is really caught up on Henry Cavill's mustache. The mustache CGI. That is the.
Yeah, he did look pretty fake in most.
Yeah. That's
the scenes.
Yeah. So people let that go. I'm not even gonna argue about that one. Batfleck, they said that he was too flip-floppy. That from the first film, from Batman versus Superman to now, there was a huge change in him in particular.
Like feeling guilty for the death of Superman.
I don't think that should be that should be what people hate about the movie, because that's obviously where his arc should be going.
And they said that he was a little smug and boring compared to everybody else. I thought that was intentional. I thought that he was supposed to come off as a little bit of an old fuddy-duddy, because he's older and he's at the end of his career. And this is one of his last big battles. And so he's looking toward retirement at this point. That's what I thought. But I get that they didn't do a good job of hitting that home for everybody so that they can really appreciate that about him. It's a mess. So Nate, it was funny as Nate said this almost quote for quote unquote. It's a mess is that next one that everyone said. So Steppenwolf is 1, 2 CGI, Mustachio is 3, 4 is Batflex, flip floppy, smug boringness, and then 5 it's a mess. And I think that has everything to do with the 120-minute mandate.
The cut down, yeah.
Yeah, it was very rushed. That's the one thing I can't argue with. Is I really could have. I needed another 30 minutes of this film.
This should have been Batman versus.
It reminded me of like
time, like 2.5 hours. Yeah.
I'm like, they could have given it 2.5 hours. It reminded me, it had the rush feel that I got with like Power Rangers, even though Power Rangers had all that time of like preparation.
Well, this is high five, buddy. Exactly, man. I thought the same thing. I was like, this feels like Power Rangers to me for some reason.
Yes, like unnecessarily rushed, but this one was obviously rushed. Like the 2-hour part, like like they could have used they could have had another 20 minutes to help develop those. I mean, because honestly, a 1.5-minute scene is a lot in a movie. Yeah. It can tell you a lot. We could have put 1.5 minutes with Cyborg or Flash. If they really wanted the character development, but then again, that's also like the trade-off. How much more character development do you need for, like, what did y'all want? Another scene of Martha and his parents getting shot again, or Superman traveling to Earth as a baby, or
get rid of the Gordon, get rid of Flash's father, put some little I have a little picture scene.
I did like seeing the same actor as Oscar. That was kind of
you could have gotten rid of Mara too. She had no business being in this movie.
You know what I heard? You know what I heard, and I'm gonna come back to this in a second. But I heard
there's a lot. We haven't even talked about him much.
Yeah, but what I heard is, and this is the word going around, is that the scenes for Atlantis came from the unfinished Aquaman film. So what they did is they wedged in a lot of those in there, and it felt like that too. I was like, this doesn't feel like it fits into this film.
Yeah, like they obviously they cut a lot out, because Willem Dafoe was supposed to be in this movie as some Atlantean. I have no idea, but
I want to see Willem Dafoe as the Joker. To be honest with you, that's what I don't want to see. The next one was Superman's Return. I think Nate is right about that. I think they could have even. Here was my theory, because we heard about Nate's theory about having Steppenwolf bring him back, which I think is the better idea, and that's probably what everybody thought was going to happen in the first place. I think the scene, if they could have also fixed it, if Cyborg and Flash came up with the idea to dig him up on their own and brought him there, and they were like, "What the hell are you doing?" And Cyborg was like,
"We just thought, I thought we could figure it out. This thing fixed me." He talks sense. He's a fast talker. Haha, here's another Flash joke. Boom.
Like idea, and it's because of the scene when they talk about the accidents. And so they're like, why not bring another accident? I think it should have been the Flash's idea, and it's his idea to try to impress everybody because he's been tripping over his feet and everything throughout the film, which also alludes to what might happen in Flashpoint. And then he kind of pulls Cyborg aside, and Cyborg's like, this is a good idea. And I think there could have been a conflict between them and Batman. And actually, Batman could have been the vote that went in the other direction, where everyone thinks Batman is going to be against bringing him back because he hated Superman. And he's a guy that is the coin flip that says, actually, I think their logic is undeniable. I think it's unethical, but it's the weapon we need. And I think that would have been a good step in the right direction. It's more dividing the team as opposed to everybody being on Diana's side. I think it could have divided the team a lot better. So I agree. I think it was very straightforward. Like, hey, let's bring Superman back. There wasn't enough. How do we get there? And definitely a mid fight. I think we could have had that fight at the very beginning. The big gun shows up, and instead of him immediately copping to her, he's boom tubed away. And throughout the rest of the film, he's kind of conflicted back and forth on what he's going to do. And when it goes into the final battle at the last minute, he kind of he's about to kill Batman, and he kind of winks at him. And he's like, oh, he's on our side. And then they all do the thing. Yeah. So I think there could have been more.
He could have hit him with "I'm a fan of justice" then too. He could have hit him then.
What are we, some sort of Justice League?
I'm a fan of justice.
I think that's so funny. I think you're right. I think he could have said something like that. He says, Steppenwolf says something like, something about truth. You all don't understand the truth. And he goes, yes, and I'm a fan of truth, but I'm also a fan of justice. And then you would have known, oh, he's about to flip, like that would have been. So yeah. And I think that goes back to the idea that this is I think this is because this goes to it's a mess idea that there's two different movies going on here. And obviously the parts of it we like, I think, are the Joss Whedon parts. The parts that don't quite fit are all of the unfinished mess that Joss Whedon had to kind of pull together from this disjointed film. And I think he did a great job fixing it, but it's still very obvious that this is a tale of two different directors.
Absolutely. But it does provide me with hope going forward for them, just as Wonder Woman did. And that was all, Snyder. There were several parts in it. I had the Marvel feel of the movie. I was like, this is clearly, but it works. Plug and play. Yeah. DC has the most iconic comic book characters. Like when you like just period the end. I mean, Superman, Batman, Flash, Wonder Woman. Like I think of all those well before I think of any Avengers, and then I probably think of Hulk, and then I'd probably go back to DC. You know what I mean? Like, they.
Or you would have gone to like Spider-Man or X-Men.
Yeah, Spider-Man, X-Men, Hulk. I'm going to think of them before I'm thinking of Iron Man or Thor every single time. So with all that material and all this thing that Whedon had to step in, I think he did a phenomenal job with the time frame that he had to come up with this type of movie and still produce it without actually taking the step back to be like, let's just push this back to March and do it right. The fact that he actually still held this deadline, I have to respect that.
And this goes to the last point that What Culture made. And Derek, you pulled this together really well. You drew some conclusions and kind of made some comparisons to Marvel. And the final thing that What Culture said is that it wasn't a particularly clever film. considering the iconic figures you had, what statement did it make about humanity? And at least Wonder Woman made a stance about love and what love is all about, and understanding that with all of the dangerous, terrible emotions that humans have and what we come out with, there's still love at the heart of all of it. And you can use that. And there wasn't any sort of lesson to be learned from this film, which is why I thought it was very good to, it reminded me a lot of the Justice League Apocalypse film that came out not too long ago. Was that called Justice League Apocalypse, or what was that called?
Justice League War.
Are you talking about the one?
Justice League War
with Darkseid?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the one. It reminded me a lot of Justice League War, because how Superman comes in at the end, that's how that Henry Cavill watched that film, had to. And then
dude, he had to.
His Superman is
that
just
whole scene
like
in
that.
the street.
Yes.
Yeah. That whole fight between him and Batman, where you clearly see that there's just no match, and then finally Batman was like, all right, Clark. And then it stopped him. What do you know about me? And then that, like I said, I totally with you on that. That's those are those things that kept giving me that feel, like, because I've already invested how many hours into these characters just on my own. Justice League Unlimited, BVS, Batman the animated series, Superman the animated series, the Green Lantern. Like, I already know, like, those are the characters that y'all have outlined for us that go from the pages to the screen. Stick with those characters, and I feel like that's what they're trying to do. But they had so much, like you said, what statement?
Derek, you keep setting them up, and I'm about to keep knocking them down. Steppenwolf. Okay, so first and foremost, in my opinion, out of any other comic book film, and I'd put this movie up against Captain America, Civil War, and here's what I would put it up against. The action scenes in this film are some of the finest action scenes I've seen in a superhero film. I legit at several times said, yeah, the Justice League would kick the shit out of any of the Marvel teams. I'm telling you, I was like, even with the Hulk, I was like, oh man,
it's not even a concept. Yeah. They pulled together. Another thing that
I think that's one of their downfalls is, like, these action scenes. You see Batman's just sitting in the wayside doing there was one part where he was holding, like, the alien gun, like he was holding a gun against Doomsday. I was like, get the fuck out here, dude. You know, Flash, they really made, like, Spider-Man, you know, just a nascent hero making mistakes. He keeps tripping, yada, yada, yada. Aquaman, honestly,
that whole scene
that powerful to me.
Flash.
Oh, where he was, like, circling around the...
That was pretty neat. I like that they kept showing the lightning. Yeah. The lightning!
I like the way they showed his speed. Yeah, it puts the lightning in.
Lightning in the fuel, yes. But ultimately the downfall of the Justice League. Hold on. But ultimately the downfall, to go with what you said, Nate, of the Justice League is, if you're gonna have these amazing characters, you got to have a boss that's even better. So his action scene starts the movie off so well. He kills Amazon's like he's eating popcorn. And so you expect him to open his mouth and have, like, something profound, and he was a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, Mama Bucks. My mama love my mama Bucks. My mama be a new
Like, what would have made sense? What I would have done is Steppenwolf would have been my first half of the movie. That's what he would have been. He would have been the preparation for who was really coming. That's what I would have went with this, because we already have the iconic characters. We've got Superman back already. He can handle Steppenwolf, so they could have had that. And then because if they're not going to pour that much energy into the villain, then set up for a better villain. You know what I mean? Like,
see, I disagree. Here's the thing. It goes back to our last episode where we were talking about the Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski, and the reason why we as an evolved audience need a villain who is a super fucking genius like Mr. Glass is because in real life, the true geniuses are incredibly detached, and they are exceedingly amazing at being creative with killing people. Osama bin Laden. You talk about Adolf Hitler, like you name any of the greatest big bads of all time, and these men were geniuses in their own right. They were able to take entire nations and turn them. I mean, I've heard recently, I've even heard, dude, I've even heard recent, really, the Bolsheviks were really Adolf Hitler was the thing that stopped the Bolsheviks from conquering the world. So really, we all should be happy that Adolf Hitler did it. Like, that's crazy. Like, this man dead still inspires that kind of growth in his own legend. So to have someone as strong as Steppenwolf, we don't respect him if he's like the Hulk. Even the Hulk at some point had to start speaking, and in order for us to really like him. I think that's the reason why we hated him as a character.
When I say, like, in essence, Steppenwolf preparation for somebody, then perhaps because I wanted the villain that I heard in the trailer that told me about no protectors here, no lanterns.
Yeah, that speech I wanted never had. That. Yeah.
So I would have been I guess I would have been placated if that voice had maybe been Darkseid actually talking, and I just sent Steppenwolf before I come in at the end of the movie.
You mean a Darth Vader / Kylo Ren, where we actually see the Emperor.
Yes, I wanted Steppenwolf to be the first. When I say the first half, I mean, no, my brother, my cousin coming here, and you're gonna have to answer to him, but first you have to answer to me, and then show his power, show his ability, but then the person, as you mentioned earlier, the person that's controlling these boom tunes is my nephew, and he's on his way. Now that I've collected this, he has the power to get here now, or whatever, we could fix that. But that's what I'm saying, because the power of the Justice League, Steppenwolf was nothing. Like, Superman could have, Wonder Woman was going to handle Steppenwolf. You know what I mean? Like they were just trading blows.
I agree that we should have seen some beams come out of a boom tube at the very end, maybe as Steppenwolf was going away, and
those chicks, you know what I'm talking about?
Burned a hole in Superman's S. Just as a farewell,
as the boom tube was closing,
yes, with that truth.
Him look up and you know who I'm thinking? Those three.
Actually, it would be better if girls. Well, I don't want to see them yet. We don't want to see them yet. I think it'd have been better if Superman tried to go into the boom tube to follow him. It's like, we got to stop him. And them angle beams.
And Superman, right outside, right before the boom tube. Dude, them Omega beams? I would have died if I had saw an Omega beam.
I'm telling you.
Like, Nate, what would you have felt if you had saw toward the end of the scene as Steppenwolf is going through the boom tube, if you had seen an Omega beam come out, zap Clark, and everybody look up only to see that gigantic blue shoulder just boom tube close, and you knew that it was Darkseid with that gray skin.
I would have much rather enjoyed it if Omega Beams had Steppenwolf, because he failed.
Killed him.
Yeah.
Yep, you're right.
Yes, to go through.
Right. Like we really should.
Failed me for the second time, dude. You had one job.
Yes. Okay. All right. You're right. Nate is rewriting the film. This is the second time in this episode that Nate is rewritten the film, and he's right. We should have seen him come all the way out. Justice League gave everything they had, including Superman, to help. And as Superman is about to give his last little power up, the boom tube opens, and you think Steppenwolf is about to go up. You see his axe go up into the thing. You see the parademons going on top of him, and you think that's about to be it. And then, he comes out.
Boom. And then you just see Steppenwolf get disintegrated. Yeah. And then you realize, and then he looks at the Justice League, and then everybody
and then he takes the mother boxes and just bounces out.
Yep.
That's your ending. That's your ending. Right
there, there you go.
And you can still have that little celebratory ending because they think they've just saved the world, but they have no idea. Like, this was all about Darkseid getting the mother boxes. That's all he wanted.
Yes. Well,
and then now he has them.
They could still play that.
It would have been cool.
Still play that story.
And what would have been cool is if he had hit them with thank you, champions of Earth, for helping me. You've beaten Steppenwolf. And we all would have known, like, that was evil. But, like, he'd been like, I shall take these and keep these safe. Like, and it would have been really cool. That would have been really cool if he had kind of played like he was a hero. Yeah. Okay. All right. So here's what
we're going to also assume.
Yeah.
Before, like, I'm just also going to assume. So no one really cared about Aquaman, huh? No one did.
He was all right. He
was just there.
He was the Wolverine.
I really wanted to like him. But
Guys,
he was dude, bro. He was dude, bro.
Yeah.
He was the Wolverine. He was Wolverine. Like, he was an extra character that was great to have, but he wasn't instrumental in the ending. That's what Wolverine always was in the comics. A cool character to have around to kind of add that dude. I'd totally have a dude night with him, and girls to be like, oh, man, he's so hot. But he doesn't really add much to the film. Every time he came on the screen, females in both of the showings were like, So
that's it. That's all that was.
That's it. That's all you need. You got to have a man Wonder Woman. So he worked out. I think it was good.
This didn't make me excited for Aquaman the movie.
No, Cyborg and Flashpoint were the two that were.
Just go ahead and combine everybody.
I'll still watch an Aquaman movie. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I wish one thing I do wish they had in this moment, and they don't think they had it, was like a hero shot. Kind of. This is the first time we're seeing the Justice League
like
together.
When Flash and Cyborg were fist bumping, standing next to Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman.
No, I mean like an Avengers type of cameras circling around while they're all standing, about to save the day. Theme music playing. They made a big deal about Danny Elfman.
Do you mean like
or even like Guardians 2, where the chain is playing and they're like,
town when they were dealing with stepping up in the
might as well just some sort of cool hero moment. Like, look,
Nate,
we get this. Oh man, we're in a Justice League movie.
Nate, they did.
You mean like showing them defeat Steppenwolf as a team and individually doing awesome things?
Oh, Cotton, yeah, but no, not together. No, right, there was nothing cool. Let's be real.
We gotta cut it off. We got to move on. Anyway, so as you can hear, ladies and gentlemen, everyone,
I will say I get what you're saying.
Beck, if you're watching Justice League, if they are doing it the
player way.
Indeed. All right. So it's obviously it's worth a watch. I definitely think, and as you can hear from our conversations, it's definitely better than Age of Ultron. Would we agree with that?
Sun's getting real low.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'd watch.
Sun's getting real low. Sun's down
over this movie.
Oh, come on, dude. Anyway, we're moving on, and we're moving on to what we all watched when we came home, as Derek alluded to last week, The Punisher. We all came home to that warm bowl of espionage and
brains.
Yeah, man.
Bullets and bubbles and guts.
I will say this is a heavy little. I've watched up to episode 6, and I had to take a break, dude. It's like Homeland. It's like Homeland. Have you ever seen Homeland?
It feels definitely reminds me of Homeland. Very much. Yeah. So. The whole time, actually, while I was watching, I'm like, man, this reminds me a lot of home. Actually, I'll season it for you, BK. This reminds me of Homeland in the singular character, and then the violence and intensity of Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, that
especially going down to the fact that the White Buffalo is singing a song while Punisher was killing the insurgents. And I'm like, he had so many songs with the same type of scenes in Sons of Anarchy. Man, this is it's so brutal, man. Mm-hmm. I'm loving the flashbacks and actually just getting to know him. And the fact, what's his name? Clancy Brown. Remembering him, I was reminding Priscilla of him in Daredevil season 2, in court, and just tying all those in and just getting to know that man. And it's intense. The violence is satisfactory.
Intense.
Yes. You could even say it was camping.
Exactly.
It was that intense.
Nice. Dad jokes, hashtag. Yeah, I think it's good. I want to watch Punisher a little bit more. It's a lot. It's just kind
of a lot to right now. It's just a little early.
I don't know if I'm not a fan of the time of year. I would have much rather this earlier in October when we were all waiting on Stranger Things to release. There was like a show hole right around the beginning of October where I really would have appreciated this to go better.
Absolutely.
It's a little close to the holidays, and I think that's gonna hurt its viewership. We don't really want to see this right now.
I don't feel that Marvel read the room. They didn't read the room at this one. Hey guys, so gun violence is at like an all-time high.
I was gonna say
guns, violence, mass shootings often. You guys, you know what would be a great show to launch? A show about a guy that does all those things, but just because
they probably did want to release this earlier, but just from real world events, like it wouldn't have been exactly kosher. Even now it kind of feels a little like this gonna make some people mad.
Oh sure, that was really good.
it really could have waited. They really could have waited until January. Like I really feel like January would have been fine. I don't feel like it would have aged at all any.
No.
That
being said, this is much better than the last 3 shows that they've come out with.
And it is straight out of the comic book. Like Micro is in there. I was like, oh, they going with Micro?
Oh yeah.
Well, I even like the change. Yeah. The bad guy, the man. How far did you guys get? Billy Russo?
I'm at 6. Yeah.
And you guys have met like his battle, but like I like the change because that guy's Jigsaw.
Absolutely.
And I like the change of his origin to being like a battle buddy with Frank Castle instead of just some mob boss or son of a mob boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask y'all this. Are we getting to a period of a little bit of superhero movie fatigue?
I don't think so.
It's possible. There's a lot. I mean, but I feel like there's a lot, but I'm glad that there's a lot. I'm looking forward to February.
Like I'm really ready for Star Wars. Like I'm really ready for something more fantasy like, and I'm really needing a break from Marvel and DC. I kind of feel like I just need to do me for a while.
Okay, I understand that. I mean, it's just a lot. There's a lot of things going on, man. You got Guardians, you got Spider-Man, you got Thor, you got Wonder Woman, and you got the Justice League all in the same year.
Like I feel like I'm about to go to college right now.
Of course, The Mummy and Pirates of the Caribbean was in there as well. So I know that really
speaking of
Valerian, House of 1,000 Corpses.
And Valerian, of course.
Shout out to
get out.
Shout out to Cara Delevingne, who had a wonderful cameo as the Flash in Justice League.
But listen, guys, I really do. Now this is in order for us to be so fatigued and just kind of feeling like it's been kind of. I feel like I just came out of a gangbang of movies this year. I feel like I'm kind of on the floor right now. I'm tapping out.
Bukkake.
I feel like I'm almost. I feel like BK stands for the wrong thing right now. And I feel like, I think we need to do at the end of. I think that in December we need to dedicate a couple of episodes to the best movies of 2017 and another podcast to the worst movies of 2017. So here's what we're gonna do.
Maybe like a top 5, bottom 5 kind of thing.
I know that you want to head toward the bottom really quickly, but slowly roll there. I feel like top 10.
Yeah, let's do a top 10. Because top 5 could easily be all superhero movies in Star Wars.
Exactly. I think top 10. And here's what I want us to do. And yes, I'm borrowing a little bit from Weekly Games Chat. Love you guys, but we're gonna borrow. Why improve upon genius? Okay, let's not reinvent the wheel. Let's not throw any babies out with whole bath water tubs. I think it's a great idea for us to each individually vote on our top 10 on our own, and then we reveal them on the show live and talk about it.
Yeah,
counting down from 10 all the way down to 1.
10 all the way down to 1. What do you? And we gonna do that? What, over a couple of episodes?
We're gonna do the top 10 best movies and then the top 10 worst.
I'm with it.
Cool. Well, guys, man, what else you guys got going on this? What do you guys got going? We coming up to Turkey Day. Gobble gobble, gobble gobble.
I didn't want to say a little comedy nugget. I did. Probably think I rolled it. Probably think I rolled it. I ain't know nothing. Hey, probably think I rolled it. But what I got to you to help, cause so me, I'm turt. Yeah, that just happened.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
That is Turkey Day, man. You gotta hit that cat daddy in the kitchen. Speaking of, I watched I don't know if you've seen it yet, but have you seen that D-Ray Davis stand up?
Yes,
on
I
Netflix?
watched it. I
just watched it last night.
I did. I watched it on Sunday. I'm a little disappointed because I felt like the last one before was better. Power Play is definitely a much better one, but this one was pretty good too.
I like this one just because like the trueness of the topics that he was hitting. Like, man, he was hitting some things. That's why some people were like, "This kind of true," but it was pretty funny, man. I just wanted to see if you had peeped that.
And I know we're gonna be watching some sports over Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if my mediocre Cowboys can beat the Chargers.
At least you guys didn't get blown out by the fucking Baltimore Ravens.
Man, I was so hopeful after the previous game where like it looked like they kind of put it together, Nate, and then I was like, Baltimore, and then the Marty B trade. Like they sent Martellus Bennett back to and the Patriots, or they waived him actually, and then the Patriots
they dropped him, and Patriots. But I mean, he even came out and said he wants to retire soon. So
yeah, this will probably be his last season, man.
Yeah,
but yeah, Cowboys, Chargers on Turkey Day, and
Lions and
I just want to say Lions and Cowboys always play, and then now it's somebody else because now Thursday's not a sacred football holiday once a year anymore because, of course, money, advertisements. How else are we going to get you to watch our sport if you don't watch all our commercials during it, right? I watch a 3-hour football game so I can see 11 minutes of actual football.
Thanks, Megan Shake.
Yeah, that's why Americans can't get into the actual truest, most popular sport on the planet, football, because that actually shows the sport over 90 minutes. No. And I don't feel the need to eat Skittles right now. What kind of sport is this?
And to kick a sports fan while he's down, a moment of silence for the Georgia Dome, man. One of the finest domes ever built went down this morning.
Oh, I read that
earlier this morning. We watched it crumble down. I'll send. Rachel actually sent me a video of it. I'll send it to you guys via chat. I know you guys might want to see that, but yeah.
Is there any jet fuel involved in melting any of those steel beams?
I don't believe so because that's just not a conventional way to destroy a building.
Oh well, jet fuel is pretty hot. But you know what? I heard if you hit it at the top, it'll have a complete free fall straight toward the ground, as if previous explosives were planted in there, and almost the steel beams were cutting at a 45-degree angle, and tons of thermite found at the scene
First
for weeks.
You guys are fucking talking about Hitler, and now you're joking.
But I just figured that's what they did with the Georgia Dome. So that's not what they did? No thermite?
No, Derek.
Actually, they probably did thermite.
But speaking of other. But speaking of other,
and we're back from technical difficulties.
Derek, didn't you have another moment of silence?
Yeah. Earlier when I mentioned, are these ovens kosher? I don't like that none of y'all reacted, so I'm just bringing it back again. And then second of all,
shout out to Magneto though.
The numbers on his arms are how many people he killed. Oh wait. That was actually thanks to Epis for Family, Nate. A moment of silence. Yeah. The voice of Bulma.
Yes.
After 30 years of entertaining us with the hot crazy head antics of Bulma, in which she's actually stood up to God on the show. The actress who voiced her passed away, so that's a little sad there.
The lady who most famous for getting her pinky toe
shot. Pinky toe?
Exactly. She died earlier today. So, and finally,
actually, you're breaking that to me right now, so I didn't even know it. So you're breaking that to me. Oh wow.
Well, while we're breaking other hearts, and shout out to DCE.
Make a status about her and mention how much I've loved all her movies, and then get back to normal tomorrow, right?
Yeah, and that your positive thoughts are with her, and our positive thoughts are prayers. Also
thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers are also with the Justice League, because they definitely lost. They lost sober feelings for all three of us, because It did not break that $100 million mark at all. We're over here in the gentleman's bet to round out the episode, and all three of us will be taking shots next week.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and moment of silence for Charlie Manson.
I know, yes, right? 83 years old. Moment of silence for Charles Manson.
Yeah. But yeah, back to the shots though. Yeah, we're Nate is going to take the least amount of shots. You know, I was listening to the episode from last week, and yeah, Derek, the exponential thing. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. It's going to take us a couple episodes to finish those shots. 3 shots for every 10 million, Derek?
Give me all guys.
Wait, what was it? I was 120. You were 125. What was Derek?
I was like 129.
He was 120 and $1. 120 and $1 is what his was.
120 and $1.
Exactly.
That's what it got throttled back down to.
125 and $1.
But that's not bad.
125 and $1. And
yeah, 125 and $1.
Yeah, so it's so Nate will take 6 shots. Derek and I will take, I guess, 8 shots.
Oh my!
That's a lot.
8 shots.
A fireball too.
This is going to be a great podcast.
So yes, if you are listening to the Player Way podcast, you are doing it the player way, and that is the alarm right on the dot. 60 minutes, man. We made it.
Boom. Alarm.
Shout out to my co-captains, Derek,
System the Corrupting. You already know.
And Nate.
I just want everybody to know I didn't agree with these jokes about the Holocaust or 9/11. And yeah, that's it.
They weren't jokes.
Look, do not joke. Nate, I'm not going to let you sit here and joke about the Holocaust. It was real and it did happen. It is not a joke. Okay?
That's right.
So anyway, shout out to my co-captains.
I don't know how much.
Guys, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, and all like 2 or 3 viewers. We actually got up to like 5 at one point on our podcast. Shout out to you guys for watching us live. And we got everybody out there in podcast land listening to us. You can listen to us each and every week on iTunes, Google Play, any place that podcasts are found for free, because that's how we do it, B. So no matter how many ways you decide to go about life, no matter what path you decide to take, just make sure you're doing that shit the player way. And we'll catch you guys next week.
Fun.
Yes, there we go. And we're still live. Thank you guys for listening to and watching the Player Way podcast with my co-captains, Derek and Nate. Guys, I'm not going to lie. I think we nailed that like a split hog.
Yes. As often as split hogs are nailed.
Exactly. All right, man. Well, guys, I'm going to edit this and put this up tonight. So if you guys could go ahead and send me those.
Will you send him the audio from 18 weeks ago? So
I don't know how I did that.
It's like never happened ever. It's never happened. I said, dude, I
know that you were so short circuit.
I got up ass early on Friday, took off work just to edit this stupid thing before I had to go to the doctor. All right. And I'm always late to the doctor. So I'm like, all right, I can't be late today. Got to get this blood pressure checked and all these good things. And I swear I'm on the ball. I'm up early before my wife on my off day. And I get everybody's stream in there. And I'm like, why is Nate talking about different stuff than everybody else? I'm like, what is that about? I look at the file. His email says the correct date, but his link thing says like October 13th or something. I'm like, oh, Nate, here you go again. I'm telling you, dude.
I need to delete some of these old ones.
Dude, how was your trip, man?
It was good. It was just exhausting. It was, and I get kind of tired of like beach after a few days. I'm over it. Like this was 5 days, and come the 4th day, I was ready to go home. You know, like seeing the same shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I can only do so much relaxing to where it's like I just want to see something. yeah, something other than this shit. Yeah,
exactly. So. Well, cool, man. Well, it's good spending time with you. My favorite part of the week is hanging out with you and Derek, and we'll talk soon, bro.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Right. Bye. Peace out, Rabbit.